Good morning all, Luis Miguel Lexa from Brick BC Projects. Today's show, what is real estate tokenization. Just a fantastic song here for one of our favourite music artists. He does mint his music as NFTs as well, SOS on side. That was one of his songs, Abby. It's a little nice slow song to start the morning here, maybe just chilling out in the afternoon there in the US. Anna, Herwig, Jessica, thank you for joining us as special guests today. Just a bit of a general chit chat while people join us. How are you all?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us. It's my first time. It's a pleasure.
Well, we've been trying to get you for a while, Herwig. Everybody else, most of the team members on your STM market team has been here. Well, from the STM group. Great to have you on.
Yeah. No, I've been glad to make the time. Seeing everybody else get in here, definitely had to come pull up. I'm glad to get into real estate tokenization. I just did a master class on it this morning, and obviously we have our brand new course. So this is a great topic.
It was very something I've been actually planning for a while, and it was very fantastic that the course, which we'll talk about a bit later on, that you guys have put out. So that's fantastic to hear that. I'm looking forward to hear some of the details around. How are you, Anna? You well?
Hi, Brick. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It is also my first Twitter space ever, so I'm super excited.
Oh, is it? Oh, nice. Well, you'll enjoy, because we always have a bit of fun at the same time, as you know.
Yeah, join a couple of yours, and I always enjoy them.
Nice. Jessica's in the house too. How are you, Jessica? Did I vet you as a speaker as well? So hopefully you can come on and share some of your experiences. And I see Kayla's in the house, Algo Farm's in the house. So thank you for joining us live. Just a bit of a general chit chat while giving people time to join us. We'll start just general observations. I think Token, the Token family there have all got Aussie names. You, Herwig, you've got the Token Roo, which you proudly wear that Aussie nickname that was given you. And Anna, you've got the Token Echidna that you also proudly wear.
Oh, I love it. It matches my hair, so I love it.
And Jess has got the Token Koala, which was our first property that we launched early this year. But yes, Jack will also be in. He's actually got a few family things going at the moment, so he will try to join us as he's my co-host every week. So he will try to join us as well. He'll probably be in and out, but looking forward to if he can. Obviously, just got a few family things going on. Shout out to Jake if he can't make it. Our prayers are with your family, and I hope everything goes well. But yeah, so you and I, Herwig, we've actually been on a talking webinar before with DigiShares, probably around like 6-7 months ago. That was a great experience. It was great to be one of the speakers there. There was a fantastic show that DigiShares put on every month. So we were fortunate enough to be invited to be the guest speakers there. There was a fantastic, that was probably around March, I think, from memory. So it was a few months ago.
Yeah, definitely the beginning of the year. I'd say a lot's changed since then for sure, more happenings. But that was a great panel just because we had a very global panel from all over representation. So I thought it was great to see the common theme, which is real estate tokenization is happening around the world.
Absolutely. See, got the with Jessica and Megan doing their Just NFT shows. Actually, I was thinking about them actually during the week, and there's an actually art piece going out their way. There was the Ravencoin Global Awards were actually on the weekend. We were very honoured and fortunate to be win the award as best tokenized assets project on Ravencoin. So we ended up bidding on a few art pieces, and we actually the art piece a young artist there in Florida. We bought this piece called Dixie, and it came with a heart piece as well. So we've actually kindly shot that across to Jessica and Megan for again, the great job they do in terms of inspiring women, young women, in terms of blockchain, all things blockchain. So I thought it'd be appropriate to continue that theme and send that heart piece across to you guys. So I hope you enjoy, Jessica. I know you're listening there.
Wow, that's amazing. I could definitely speak for Jessica to say that's awesome.
So you're a
I know they're going to be thrilled to talk about that on the show.
Big fan. So probably have to make room in that wall of yours there in the office, Herwig, to for that painting up there.
The more the merrier.
But yeah, look, we try to sort of get it started at 10 past. Like I said, just giving a bit of time to people to join in. Anything been happening? Anything interesting been happening from on your side of things, Anna?
Well, before I start, I just want to say Jessica says thank you. I don't know if she can't speak right now, but she says thank you very much for that.
No, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Again, like I said, just the fantastic jobs that Jessica and me are doing in terms of inspiring young women to come onto blockchain, all things blockchain. I think it was fantastic. And this is a young lady out of Florida. She's a teenager and she's doing fantastic artwork. And again, doing fantastic work is inspiring young ladies. But Anna, in terms of anything interesting that has been happening from your side of things?
A lot. We have a lot going on Security Token Advisors. We keep getting great clients we have some really good projects. The course itself is a big one right now, working on, the real estate tokenization course, which we're going to get more into later on. But yeah, just a lot of exciting conferences. We attended the property conference last week, met a bunch of cool people there and individuals. But yeah, just never stops around here.
Nice. And Herwig, from your side of things, anything interesting that's been happening from your side?
Oh, it never stops, does it? I think Annie Yanzi definitely covered the main thing, which is launching our course. I think it's our first ever step to really bringing this education to the masses, other than obviously the great variety of shows that we put on. But, if those don't, catch your boat and you want something that's a little bit more lecture focused and a little bit more, in the weeds, this is for you, and you don't have to pay our crazy retainer fees in order to get the same education. So I think that's going to be great, and hopefully enables a lot of people to at least understand or even start to activate and tokenize in the industry. But I think over the last few months, just in general, we've seen a lot of Wall Street adoption, Hamilton Lane, KKR, Wisdom Tree, and several other major institutions have started to get in the game. Even JP Morgan made an announcement with SBI earlier today about an initiative doing in the tokenization space. I got to tell you, man, I'm more fired up than ever where we're heading in this industry.
Nice. It's again, it's moving so quick, and especially on the real estate tokenization. I mean, I often get asked probably at least twice a week in terms of how do I do it? In terms of tokenizing real estate. That'd be sort of build developers around the world, and I think it's again, this is what this show's about. Providing awareness in terms of both retail and also on the other side in terms of build developers that are looking at the new frontier. But yeah, it's always great to get your views, because obviously you go to various events over there. Obviously, there's a lot more events going on over there than obviously here in Australia and in Europe for that matter. But you just go, that seminar you just came from, that was what, during the week? That property focus one?
That's right. Property, this is I think there was a second annual or third annual event around just Web3 and real estate in general. If for anyone in the audience is not familiar, Property, they're more around focusing on the real estate, residential buy home selling process. So specifically what they do is they interject themselves in between the buyer and the seller by tokenizing the property, and then interestingly enough, maybe up for debate, they go ahead and then leverage an NFT that's also a security token. So the underlying asset is a property that's held in an entity, and that entity has one sole share, which is an NFT and also obviously a security token. So this is interesting because it improves the way that you can buy homes, instant settlement benefits. You can, of course, use cryptocurrency and stable coins to buy into it. And so the company saw a surge in just demand for people wanting to buy homes with crypto in the bull run days of 2021. Obviously, usage has gone down, and I would argue that even more so, fractionalization and tokenization in general is going to benefit real estate on an even greater scale than just improving the home buying transaction. But overall, they had a great round of speakers. Obviously, we were involved and saw a lot of the different industry players there, from Robin Land to Order Book to a lot of different tokenization providers and real estate issuers.
Nice. So Scarlett from Romland would have been there. Did you have a chat with Scarlett, the CEO?
I unfortunately didn't get a chance to catch up with her, but I did see her there.
Nice. Yeah, it's fantastic. Fantastic what's happening, and obviously with their first one create a lot of attention with their first property, and again it's projects like that are obviously leading the way in terms of awareness, especially around mainstream media to make people aware in terms of what's happening. And I know they made news over here in Australia when they had their first property. So yes, that's all contributing in terms of the whole ecosystem around tokenized real estate, which is fantastic. Well, we'll just hit on just on the 10 past. We'll start with the formalities without being too formal. Just a bit of structure. I'll probably first introduce myself. I'm Lewis Miguel Alexo. I'm the Managing Director and co-founder of Brick BC Projects. We tokenise Australian real estate properties here, mainly focusing around Brisbane, Sunshine Coast and Gold Coast. We just launched our second property actually just yesterday on the Gold Coast, the Brick Dolphin property, which is a luxury investment property. So that's now launched. It was launched on the Ravencoin blockchain, that property, which is actually the first ever real estate property launched on the Ravencoin blockchain. So that's a decision we made. So so it's we've let the dolphin is free. It's out there. So we're very excited about that. As I said, my co-host Jake, he's going to try to make it. Just got a few family things going on. The What is Real Estate Tokenization show that we hold every week is about providing awareness and education and guidance in terms of, again, what is real estate tokenization, the new frontier for people to access real estate in a new way, and it's available. The way the tokenization of real estate works is basically it provides access to anyone from anywhere in the world, and before people have been restricted in terms of traditional real estate. So our show is about providing those guidance and awareness, and today we're very fortunate and very lucky to have three special guests, in particular Anna and Herwig. Jessica's she's in the background there. She's going to be chipping in maybe later on, but we've got Anna. Anna, do you want to introduce yourself and a brief background about you?
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So my name is Nancy Hernandez. My background does not necessarily come from crypto or security tokens or tech. It actually comes from public relations and marketing, which is how I ended up with Estare, doing marketing for them. And yeah, ever since my security token background or knowledge came once I joined the company. I had a crypto background, but I was exposed to the world of security tokens ever since, and it's been uphill since then.
Fantastic. And Herwig?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief, although I think it's worth the context. Serial entrepreneur. Before I got into crypto, I actually launched a company called Invest Ready, which actually Adrian, who's my co-founder, I see him in the audience. Basically, we built a company that now is the leading investor accreditation software in the space. So anyone who's doing online investing that needs to verify whether their investors qualify for that accredited investor definition, we actually provide the software that makes it easy for the investors to upload their information. We then verify that and issue a digital certificate that qualifies the investor. So that actually gave me a crash course in securities laws, understanding this new industry of equity crowdfunding and how this market is taking advantage of this technology. And then around 2017, somebody actually approached me and said, hey, using your background, can we do an ICO for my company? And we ended up basically just focusing around trying to tokenize what was at the time a Series B and a facial recognition company. They were raising $7 million, and we worked with attorneys and developers to make sure that it was a compliant offering, which they raised in under the course of 2 weeks. So seeing that happen, was to me the sort of, alarm bell that I was, the lightning moment, where it's like, all right, this is definitely going to be the future of capital markets eventually. So we started Security Token Advisors, a company that provides consulting services in the industry, specifically helping issuers apply the technology of tokenization, finding the right vendors, going through the process, and listing it on the secondary market. So we've worked with a lot of different projects, real estate and other asset classes, but definitely a lot of real estate. And I'm excited to dig into the conversation.
Nice. Not to embarrass you, Herwig and Anna, but I've shared this story before. Obviously, we were the first community members on your show, on the STM Markets show, which I think I did share there when we spoke there. But around 3 years ago, when we were actually researching in terms of tokenization of real estate, given what problem we were trying to solve, the STM Markets, the YouTube video channel that you guys have, that was one of my main sources of research content in terms of researching what it was all about. So again, you guys are playing a major part in educating and providing awareness to what is tokenization of assets in general. But obviously, in terms of which the fundamentals are the same in terms of real estate, just a different asset, an asset in terms of that tokenized asset side of things. But again, it's we thank you for your show that provided us that first source of information for us to go down that rabbit hole.
I'd love to hear it. Makes me happy every day to hear anyone who's able to find help in our YouTube channel, Security Token Market, or any of the content really that my team now produces, just incredible reports and case studies. But honestly, it's shows like this too, and weekly meetups like this that also are critical to the industry. So we got to give you a shout right back at you.
Thanks.
We're always happy to participate.
Thanks, mate. But yeah, today's show is again we're focusing around in terms of how we're guiding people and providing awareness and the impact of tokenized real estate, and that's whether that's in terms of from a investor token buyer's perspective, accessing real estate as part of their wealth portfolio, or on the other side in terms of property developers that are looking in terms of spreading their product to another way in terms of the traditional way that they've done before, but now looking at a different way in tokenizing real estate. So we'll focus around the particular topic today. And I guess in terms of where are people getting the information, what's current the main sources of information, we sort of touched on before, and in terms of what sort of sources, in terms of, is it social media, or is it basically word of mouth, that where people, from your perspective, what you're seeing, where are people getting their information around tokenized real estate?
Yeah, that's definitely a great question, because there's for sure still a lot of opacity in the industry. It's not very clear where everything is and what to do in terms of how to participate. So I'll start with the former when it comes to investors. Definitely what we've started to see in this industry is, as opposed to your one-off issuer who maybe has a $1, $10, $20, $50, $100 million property or asset, they're typically, or portfolio, they are typically, just sort of going at it with a direct approach. So they're going through their traditional model of brokers and their investor network to see who wants to finance their existing tokenized offering versus sort of doing a very loud marketing campaign. It's more so what we're seeing is the portals, as we describe them, crowdfunding portals or marketplaces, however you want to call them. These are websites that act as either a broker or a tokenization provider for real estate developers and projects, so that they can go through them and have a one-stop shop of, okay, tokenize with us, list with us, and raise your money with us. And so websites like these, real estate crowdfunding portals, tokenization portals, those are definitely going to be a consistent source of new and upcoming deals, because that's what their job is to do. Of course, you always want to look out for those potentially one-off offerings that are going loud. Definitely those tend to, get picked up in the press, and you look out for those. And without kind of going too much into self-promoting, obviously that's why we created Security Token Market. So our sister company at Security Token Advisors, the company I started with Kyle, who I do the show with every week, the Security Token Show, that was made so that we can try to provide insights to the industry, because we recognized back in 2018 that if security tokens are to ever take off, we need more information. No one's going to ever trade anything without knowing what was the previous historical pricing data, what's the underlying asset data, regulatory data, any on-chain information. All of that is obviously relevant to the investment, especially when it comes to real estate, which is traditionally a very private asset class, right? If you're an investor in real estate, you typically don't get a lot of information, maybe a quarterly report, and in some cases, nothing at all. So when it comes to security tokens, obviously with real estate trading, the market needs information to trade off of. That's why we believe the real estate tokens that provide more information will end up becoming priced better and will be more demanded by investors than obviously the latter without information. So Security Token Market, or STM.co, that's our source of information. That's our Bloomberg, our CoinMarketCap. This is where you can go to see, okay, what's everything trading at based on what they see, that's available to purchase in the industry, and also where is it trading, right? So these marketplaces and these portals, if we can find out, what deal it is and where it's trading, we're obviously going to have that information so that you can then participate. So there aren't too many other sites like this, and hopefully more will come about. But like I said, you'll probably find a platform that you're comfortable with and maybe see how you want to participate. And it's worth mentioning that obviously a primary offering, aka something that's actively being fundraised but not listed, versus something that is already trading, that's obviously a kind of a different scenario in terms of how you buy. And then on the issuer side, that's definitely also a nuanced answer. Again, most people tend to do it in a one-off way. There's a lot of different providers and a lot of different ways that you can tokenize, whether it be from the structure of the offering, whether it be the way the blockchain is coded, whether it be the way you do the offering and who you partner up with. There's a lot of different strategies. So people tend to find their partners and then launch an offering. And at the same time, the same way we have portals trying to concentrate deals, we see the same for issuers that are looking for that one-stop shop, everything under one roof. And so they look for a provider that can do the tokenization and the listing and the trading if possible. So that's sort of a brief overview, but happy to dive into any of that.
Yeah, in terms of what you guys do with the Estare markets, these guys are pioneers in that space, and again, there's obviously some players coming in, but again, in terms of that main source, it's such a critical to have that one-stop shop of all the information, and again, these guys continue to push the barrier in terms of innovating, and no doubt in future with the STM market side of things, and no doubt in future, I think if I sort of look forward at that in terms of real estate, obviously massive wave, I think, in what's happening in real estate. I think we probably have to do a special show just on real estate itself, just to keep up with terms of different projects, right?
You're not wrong. I think one day you might very well see a dedicated real estate show or segment unfold. And I will tease everybody that, our website is now 4 years old. It definitely needs a revamp, and we've been working hard for the last year. So we've got an even more institutional, a much nicer looking version that'll be coming out very soon, hopefully in the coming weeks. So definitely look out for that even better experience. But also want to take a quick pause and obviously introduce Jessica, who's our head of investor relations services at our Security Token Advisors, and also host of Spilling the NFT. So, Jessica,
I figured it out, guys.
Hello.
I'm here.
Hi, Jessica. How are you? You well? You well?
Sorry about my technical difficulties. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. I was here the whole time. I just couldn't speak, so
We
I'm
saw
really
you.
sorry. But
No, we saw you. We saw you listening in.
but I just wanted to say thank you for everything you said. Megan and I are going to do a whole episode on real estate tokenization coming up too, so we're going to get you to help us with that as well.
Nice.
But, Anna has been working on this course with the Security Token Advisors, teaching people about the future of real estate, and it's incredible. It is amazing.
We're gonna dig into that. We're gonna dig into the deep on that one there, because it's very pioneer in terms of education. Yeah. So looking forward to Anna covering that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Very exciting. In terms of and probably Jessica, well, I got you on this on the next point here. In terms, you're seeing obviously a lot of people coming in from mainstream, and obviously with your show that you do on spilling NFTs, obviously seeing young ladies in particular. You got just people in general really coming in from mainstream, wanting to find out what NFTs, and obviously that's sort of the buzz that's been created over the last 18 months with how much NFTs have done in terms of the awareness and the hype around. And obviously, any entry point is a great entry point. Doesn't matter what asset it is. In terms of what are you seeing from mainstream perspective in terms of coming into blockchain? What's your experiences been in observing that?
So this is it actually makes me excited because, a lot of traditional industries have been hesitant to move to the blockchain space, but real estate is let's jump right in and do it, and let's get creative with it. So we have a lot of different clients that are doing some really cool digital real estate, and I can't speak on them, individually, but all together, they're doing things that we really haven't seen before, and it's going to make the real estate, right now people are kind of hesitant about the real estate industry. There's so many loops to go through, and secret fees and things popping up and changes, and I think having real estate on chain is just revolutionary, and I love to see so many people just accepting it the way they are and hopping in full force. So I think in the next few years, this is really going to be the way that we buy and sell and rent and all of those things, and I'm so excited for it.
Absolutely. And the thing is that we talk about mainstream, but I think even people who have been involved in blockchain and who are very obviously experienced in blockchain, I think even the concept of actually tokenizing real estate is something really, really foreign to them. And I had that experience actually just around 3 weeks ago. We had our first crypto conference here in Australia, and I got talking with a few people who've been in blockchain for a long time, for a few 5 years or 6 years, and when I told them that we were tokenizing real estate, it was just got this puzzled look. What do you mean you're tokenizing real estate? And I know that you guys get the same. Oh
no, we do.
And then and again, there was I guess it's an easier conversation to have because they're already obviously using blockchain in different decentralized wallets, centralized wallets. I guess it's an easier conversation. Don't get me wrong. But it's still that's still very early for people to get that concept about tokenizing real estate. And but yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I have a lot of older friends in the industry that are reaching out to me, just hey Jessica, I know you work in this. Can you tell me what's going on? And I'm like, you need to get on this right now. But exactly what you said. They're hesitant, and I have to explain everything from A to B. There's no shortcut to explain how this is happening and how it's revolutionizing the future. So, but no, we get those strange looks all the time too. Don't worry.
And I guess in terms of us as an industry, obviously whether an issuer or educating, I think one of the key things in my view is making sure that the experience you provide for people in terms of when they come onto our platform is making sure that you're catering for both people coming from mainstream, just used to just going onto a website, registering on a website, having that same experience, and at the other end where you got the experience, people who are very experienced in blockchain, they totally want to be decentralized. They want to have that decentralization in terms of their own wallets to hold their tokens. So I think we just got to be conscious of that. I know we were, and we sort of made a point of providing the two options in terms of decentralized and centralized way of people how they hold tokens, and I think that's the key thing, especially bringing mainstream in to make sure we provide that easy way to transition into the new world of tokenized real estate. And no doubt, Herwick, you would have experienced that in terms of obviously talking to different issuers and so forth, and Anna from my STO perspective.
Yeah, no, we're seeing all kinds for sure. Whether it's some of our favorite clients to work with are actually family offices because they have more control over their portfolio. They have more risk tolerance to try something like that out. And a lot of the times their portfolio is rather large. So most people don't even recognize that. Instead of just tokenizing one individual property, which is game-changing in its own, even putting all of the record of information when it comes to the beneficial owners of the real estate, the debt, the different payments, everything is extremely archaic in real estate and slow and manual. And when it's put into this standardized system that is the blockchain, it all becomes automated, programmatic, and very easy to manage, which leads to a lot of cost savings in itself. So that is sometimes a use case that we see is, even just trying to leverage how can we leverage digitalization to improve our processes. But you do see a lot of the traditional real estate developers, right? I think the biggest opportunity when it comes to liquidity is LP, unlocking LP liquidity, limited years, it's 5, 8, 10 plus years at a time. And so this idea that you could now offer an exit scenario within a year or two or 3 or even 4 is definitely a major game changer. It reduces the risk of the investment. It allows more investor types to participate and a bunch of other benefits. And I think the last one that's kind of hardest just to touch on that we do see that's kind of interesting is the real estate brokers, right? Is how do they evolve in this whole mix? If one day everything is tokenized, we would just be buying shares. And the only real job of the broker would be either leasing the property or managing what would be the ownership rights of the property, because maybe you own a majority of the tokens, but some of it's tokenized, et cetera. A lot of weird scenarios that could pop up. So they will definitely have to adapt. But we've seen real estate brokers come to us and say, hey, how do we take advantage of this trend? And instead of trying to kind of work with what's happening around them, they're saying, let's go ahead and evolve into a beyond a real estate brokerage, into an asset management company. So instead of just, doing the traditional sale process, they're tokenizing the asset. Instead of selling it to one buyer, they're looking to sell or lease the ownership of it, and then they're tokenizing it and selling it to multiple investors. And then they're charging management fees on the management of the actual token offering and the asset. And beyond that, they obviously can even make a spread between what was the fee that they listed it at versus what it was bought at, right? So there's a lot of new ways that brokerage firms can adapt. But I think in general, what we're seeing is most of the time you're seeing, again, investors who are looking to leverage liquidity for an underlying real estate property.
Yeah, no, I agree. In terms of the innovation, in terms of the new frontier of real estate tokenization, opens up so much opportunities for people out there. You start talking about real estate agents. I mean, I've actually had discussions with a couple of agents there in the US, and basically what I've been saying to them: think about it, think outside the square. This is a new frontier that now you can be involved in in the selling process of tokens, a tokenized asset, tokenized real estate. So again, obviously there's legislation issues across different countries, how that works for real estate agents. But again, the new frontier, you just got to think outside the square, how you can participate to offer your client base as a real estate agent, to offer your client base now actually properties in other countries. That's just a game changer for a real estate agent that can think outside the square. And I've sort of again, when I mentioned this to them, I think they sent that mind-boggling in terms of what can be. But yeah, no, I agree with you. It's certainly opening up some great doors for people to get involved in different aspects of tokenized real estate. I'm really excited to find out more about the course. I know I want to go deep into that because again, there's not many tools out there from a formality perspective. When we talk about universities, we talk about colleges out there. I mean, they're still very limited in terms of what even just basic information around tokenized assets in general are out there in mainstream institutions. But in terms of people are starting to obviously think about in terms of creating these fantastic tools. I know you guys, again, pioneers in creating this course. Bob, do you want to sort of share with us, Anna or Herwig, about the new course? I'm really excited to find out more about it, because obviously it is going to be playing a major part in providing that formality around, so people can take through the journey as from a tokenized real estate perspective. Do you want to just share some details around that?
Yeah, of course. So like Herwig says, tokenization does affect a bunch of different players in the real estate market or industry overall. That was one big component that we made into the course. We went through each different player and we identified how tokenization changes their role, or maybe how it stays the same. When we were putting this course together, we really wanted two things to be kept in mind and kind of drive it through. And the first one was we wanted simplicity for it. So anyone, whether you're familiar with blockchain or not, or just don't have any idea of what a token is, we wanted you to be able to just come in and understand everything. So we made it very simple. We have interactive videos, we have quizzes, little activities that test your knowledge in order for that to happen. And the second thing that we wanted to do, aside from simplicity, was we wanted to make it fun, right? No one wants to sit through a course where they're just reading a bunch of text over and over, or maybe they're watching an hour-long webinar, whatever it is. So I think those are the really big components. Aside from all the great knowledge that it provides, those are the really big things and feedback that we're getting from our course. One, it is simple. Two, it is very interactive, where anyone can take it, from their home, self-paced, and they can get through it. We also have the opportunity that we have live webinars once a month. And in these live webinars, that's the opportunity for anyone to come in, ask questions if they're not understanding anything, but also get into connections with other players in the real estate tokenization space. For example, OPM is one of our sponsors, and they will be doing a live webinar with us. So each month we're going to bring in different speakers, different leaders in this space, and have them talk about their experience and their expertise.
That's fantastic. So, and in terms of, do you want to outline sort of the key points so I guess it's divided up into segments of the course, right? And do you want to sort of outline the segments that they take you through? Is it a 5, 6, 10 segments within the course? Yeah.
So it is a 4-module course. We start, module 1 is very basic. It's introduction to the blockchain. So that's the one that most people find very easy. It does end with a market overview, which I've heard it's one of the favorites, because people do not realize how big the market actually is. So I think when they see that, they realize like, oh, this is not as new as we thought it is, or I'm technically, yes, I'm still ahead of the game, but not as much as I thought I was by learning about this. Then we go into module 2, which is where we explain the traditional versus tokenized real estate, and that's really where we talk about how tokenization affects real estate, how raising capital is different from like the traditional way of raising capital versus when you want to tokenize it. We talk about compliance, payment distributions, and reporting. So all that is covered into module 2. Then module 3 talks all about liquidity. And there we go into how is tokenization done, the process and timeline for it, the different options, programmability, smart contract capabilities, transfer and trade restrictions, ongoing evaluation, and the blockchains that you can tokenize on. And our last module is best use cases, and that's where we take you to different cases for real estate. We do different case studies and just provide any additional resources out there as well.
That's fantastic. That sounds fantastic. And no doubt in that the third module, when you're talking about the different types of blockchains you can tokenize. I know that you've got Ravencoin there. No doubt that you talk about Ravencoin blockchain.
You're gonna have to find the course and see.
Nice. No doubt you probably have to bring in Tron Black as maybe a guest speaker on that when you cover that third module. Right?
Yeah, we can definitely work something out.
And that's fantastic. That sounds really amazing in terms of those 4 modules. And again, in terms of how do people actually so it's online? Obviously, you got videos there. So is a start at a particular time, or people can start at any time? Do you want to sort of share with us in terms of how and where?
Yeah, of course. So as of right now, you can access the course once you visit our site, stacourse.com. Once you purchase the course, you have up to a year to take it. So the course does not take a year, obviously. But let's say if you want to do it every couple of months, that's fine. Or if you want to finish it in a weekend, you can. It's just you have access to it for a year, which is also good because when we do those monthly webinars, even though you're done with the course, you can still access those webinars. In the coming months, if there's a new kind of resource that we are uploading into the course, you would have access to that as well. And yeah, it is, the platform that we made it on has, like I mentioned before, has interactive videos, has the quizzes, articles that you can read and things like that.
It's fantastic. Really, really exciting to share that. Because we've never been able to, apart from obviously different YouTube videos and obviously the space and stuff, there's actually nothing formally that we've been able to actually guide people towards. But it's great to have that reference now to guide people to, they want to sort of have that formality to go through the process. That is fantastic. That's a game changer for our industry.
Yeah, it should take about 10 hours to go through the whole thing, more or less. But to your earlier point, the universities are not teaching this stuff yet. It would be kind of hard because very few people have done this before. So, we've got about a team of 10 consultants here in Miami where we're located, all across different industries: investment banking, crowdfunding, compliance, marketing, and then, of course, blockchain, Web3, and real estate, and everything else in between. So it takes a lot of different expertises to really understand how to go through the full tokenization effort. And obviously, we're busy dealing with, our clients, helping them go through the actual process. So this was our way of actually being able to say, hey, let's take the knowledge that we have and be able to make it in a DIY, at your own pace model to let people learn about real estate tokenization. Because at the end of the day, that's really our job. I founded the company on the mission of just trying to adopt security tokens for Wall Street and finance in general. So whatever we can do to encourage education, specifically with also best practices so that things are done the right way, can help this industry thrive. And obviously also more opportunity for our sister company to help support the industry with more tokens to track and more media to provide on the space.
That's fantastic. With the course, what's sort of the target market that initially that you're really focusing on to get? Is it the investors? Is it the developers? Is it the institutions? Or obviously it's aimed at all. But what sort of focus initially that you're trying to get out there?
Yeah, no, of course. At the end of the day, anybody could benefit from this. How many people want to spend $1,000 to benefit from this? Probably a lot smaller, right? So we definitely, as I mentioned, this is specifically for people in the real estate industry. Even if you're a broker, this is a way for you to actually understand, what's happening around you and how you might be ready and prepare for the coming changes with tokenization or even take advantage of them. Obviously, this is for service providers, service providers who are looking to figure out, again, how does my business model change and adopt as a result of the blockchain coming to real estate, whether you're a real estate broker or a title company or an actual development construction company. There are different ways you can take advantage of. Even lenders, which is, of course, a huge component of real estate tokenization. Real estate, 90% of real estate has some sort of debt on it. So obviously when it comes to collateralization and lending, there are massive benefits to discuss there and how that happens. And last but not least, it is just about anyone who is trying to take advantage of the knowledge that we have here, whether it's becoming a consultant or advising others on real estate tokenization. This will give you the tools to be able to do exactly that. and become dangerous in the game. So a lot of the time for people, it's very important, especially larger real estate firms and private equity funds and the like, that their staff and their team is aware of what are the new changes and industry trends happening. And of course, real estate tokenization is probably the biggest thing to happen to real estate ever, apart from maybe securitization itself. So from that end, we wanted to make sure that those firms have an option to be able to train and educate their team on what's happening in the space and how to take advantage of it again.
Absolutely, and again, there is a big wave happening, and people are starting to they want that source of information. They want to find out. And I've spoken to quite a few guys that are doing some larger projects than ours. I mean, obviously we're focusing on just luxury investment properties, but there's some of my colleagues that are they're looking at tokenizing the real estate. They're talking about whether it be an $85 million cost, mixed development projects in Europe and in the US and what have you. And I know every time I have a conversation with a property developer, they get really excited in terms of new frontier. I know there's a couple here in Australia that I've spoken to, and I mentioned the realization of what you can do now. Their eyes lit up because we all know how challenging banks can be, and I think banks continue to be challenging in terms of traditional banks, in terms of getting funding for projects to build projects. And again, when you start talking about the new frontier, that excites them because it doesn't matter how strong your balance sheet is to go fund a new development. It's challenging in terms of your pre-sales and the hoops you got to go through, and I guess in terms of our new frontier with tokenized real estate, just makes things so much easier. It puts the power back to people. And now having a course like this, like you guys are doing, that's fantastic. And in terms of with the course in going forward, do you guys see the opportunity to further develop that into a face-to-face over there in Miami, in terms of how that sort of develops out? What's sort of the vision from beyond the interaction on the platform?
Yeah, no, I think we definitely love to, we do offer, custom workshops and things like that for those who were looking to do that, again, usually for a firm. So if you're here in Miami, we're always happy to connect and get together with people. And for sure, you're going to see a lot of events in the future start to come out. We've got another sister company that does a lot of events around education. And specifically here in Miami, we just love to have a good time. So we love bringing the industry together and people together, and I've seen quite a bit of success in doing just a lot of workshops and things like that, again, because the name of the game is education. In order to get people tokenizing, they first need to understand it and be able to apply it.
Absolutely. So in terms of, if I'm an investor, and I'm coming and I'm interacting with these guys, what's the first point of call that I should be, obviously, I know you're going to start the course, of course, but in terms of a new person coming in, where's the first couple of places at least that I should be seeking information from your perspective? And that's a question to the three of you. That's a question to the three of you. You want to share that with us?
Yeah, I'll let Jessica and Anna share their resources, but I can definitely say, at stm.co or stomarket.com/news, you can search in real estate, and that's probably the easiest way to see all of the latest articles of what's happening in the real estate space. This is just all sort of, linked from other sources. And then there are absolutely some really great research reports out there. I know Boston Consulting Group has one. I think Deloitte did one. There's definitely, and I know there's one by MIT that might be starting to get relatively old in comparison to 2 or 3 years old, but a very comprehensive one by MIT on real estate tokenization. So if you really want to get, down and dirty into the weeds and a little bit more technical and less educational, there's a lot of good reports and insights out there to also get started. Jessica, Anna, what do y'all think?
Well, we also our team is pretty awesome. So if you want to head over to our STM or STA Medium page, we actually have a lot of articles written by our team about this subject and a bunch of other topics. Megan and I have dived deep into it a couple times on our show, and we're going to get into the details. And we're going to have Tron on it in a couple weeks. And then I'll let Anna talk about the course itself. But we have a lot of resources that we offer. And you can reach out to me at any time if anyone's interested and can't find them.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Herwig and Jess kind of covered the ones that I was going to say. The last one would be the course itself. I think, it's really user-friendly, very easy to use, very comprehensible, and we do also have that feature where you can talk with leaders in the space and just learn about more specifically from them and how you can get more into tokenization overall. But the reality is that I think aside from tokenization platforms and the ones mentioned by Herwig and Jess, there is not a lot of information out there, which is the reason why we decided to kind of be, leaders in this and make the course itself, because unless you're really into the space, you wouldn't even know where to start.
Absolutely, totally agree. And these guys provide some great sources, as I said earlier. Bobby, I'll open up the floor. We've got 10 minutes. I'd like to give the show under an hour. So anybody that wants to ask a question, I can give you a mic. But Bobby, shout out to the people who have joined us live, our Go fam, Lisa, the Humble Miner, Sheila, Morgan, Megan's in the house, as I said, LSJ, Xander, Raven, Mirage, John, Etiart, Bono, C3 Media, SOS on side. SOS is the museum.
Sally from marketing.
Oh, of course, Sally from marketing is here, and of course our CEO from honorary CEO from Ravencoin, Jessica. I forgot to mention that earlier. We've got Adrian. Hey, Kyle's in the house as well. Thanks, Kyle. Chubby and KRVN. Thank you for joining us. So again, I'll open up the mic for any questions. And while we wait, if anybody wants to come up, ask any questions to our guests. We've got one from in terms of our industry, tokenizing real estate industry. And this is a question to the three of you. What is the next leg up for our industry in terms of where do we see ourselves in the next few months? Because obviously our industry is moving very fast. What is that next leg up for our industry? Probably if you start with you, Jessica. Put you on the spot, Jessica.
Yeah, you did. I don't know. There's so many different directions, but I honestly think we're just going to start seeing it IRL. It's going to be something that's advertised to you, something that's offered to you. Next time you go to rent something, or because with Miami being such a big tourist spot as well, we have short-term things and hotels and all that. So I think we're just slowly going to see it start creeping into our everyday use, where we live, when we rent, when we buy, how we sell. I think these are just going to be options that are going to start being available to us, and we're going to understand them a little bit more than anybody else would.
You're talking about Miami, Florida, or Miami Gold Coast?
No, I'm talking about the whole world, but we'll see it specifically more so in Miami because, we are the leaders in that. But, yes. I mean, I know what's happening on your side of the world as well, so that's why we love collaborating with you, because it's kind of cool. We're doing the same thing on different ends of the world. Absolutely.
We always love the banter. From Miami Gold Coast with Dolphin News to Miami, Florida. We always love our banter.
Always. I can't wait till we're all together.
Absolutely. Anna, from your perspective, what do you think is the next leg up for our industry in terms of tokenized real estate?
Oh, that's a big one. I think, honestly, I'm more excited to see it get more mainstream. I think right now it's very niche. And again, if you're not in the space, you don't know about it. So I think the next leg of it's going to be as we start maybe through these courses and just more people start talking about it, we are going to see more real estate agents get into it. We are going to see more developers get into it. And honestly, I don't know what the next step is, but I'm excited to see how creative it gets from where we are now. How big the bar is going to get after this.
Absolutely. Howard?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's a tough one. I think for sure we're going to see some more marketplaces open up. More marketplaces just mean more listings, more opportunities for trading. I know a lot of the conversations we have with people, especially those who have been watching for some time, they question, is there liquidity? Is there still happening stuff in the space? There definitely is. The more markets we see active, the more that's going to encourage and give confidence to other real estate tokenization stakeholders to participate. And then I also think collateralization is another big one. Once we have some major lending opportunities, Realty just made a partnership a couple months back with OV Protocol, so you can take their tokens to a protocol and get a collateralized loan automatically. It can also be done in a centralized way. So I think for sure when it comes to real estate, when people start to realize the power of collateral, there is going to be a huge wave that ends up happening. And last but not least, the third one I'll throw out there just to give three is just one major marquee real estate asset tokenizing. Whether it's the Burj Khalifa or whether it's, something really, really recognizable. Hopefully maybe even some kind of a major stadium or something like that. Just imagine if the Madison Square Garden was tokenized. That would make everybody talk about real estate tokens for forever. So those are, I think, that if we see something like that happen in the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to be entering a whole new chapter.
That's a good point, Carl. Some good points there. I do like the last one you made about, in terms of something iconic that's going to be tokenized as a real estate property, a piece of real estate that I think will set the world mainstream alight. I know at the moment here I'm involved with the Brisbane Bulls, our national basketball team here in Brisbane, the Brisbane Bulls. So they're looking at building their own stadium here because the owners, they're a syndicate. There's a Hollywood producer and there's some former NBA players and actually one current NBA player who's part of the ownership syndicate. And obviously over there in America, you guys, the model is for any sporting teams to own your stadium. You guys own your stadiums over there, which is very foreign here in Australia. And at the moment, with the Brisbane Bullets, we're actually looking at building our own stadium. So the ownership group have actually said that we're prepared to basically spend up to $1 billion building our stadium with a commercial precinct. This is just not a stadium. It'll be a commercial precinct with hotels and whatever around it. So that's going to be in Brisbane. We're just having a bit of trouble at the moment convincing our state government here in terms of the location. And basically, obviously, we're saying to them that the stadium will be handed over during the Olympics, because obviously we're at the 2032 Olympics here in Brisbane. And we'll actually hand the stadium over to be used as for the basketball. And so again, that sort of actually gives him some again in terms of funding. I mean, the owners have got the money to do it, but wouldn't it be great to actually have this stadium to be tokenized to get people and people who are involved, who like the Brisbane Bulls, and be part of the involvement of the whole stadium ownership. That'd be cool. That's a great point you made about something iconic. This would be something iconic that will actually, from an Australian perspective anyway, set mainstream alight from that perspective.
That would be very iconic, yeah.
So I have to have further chats with Pete, who's the CEO, and maybe we'll put that idea out to the ownership group. But I totally agree with that. It's in terms of something iconic will set mainstream alight. That's for sure. Actually, did I miss out one of our favourite people, Tokenemu Jackson is in the house. Thank you for joining us.
Jackson!
Jackson's amazing.
He's good. He's good. But look, we're just sort of coming on to the hour. I think there's no questions, so we'll start the wrap up. Any closing thoughts, Jessica, from you?
No, I'd just like to say thank you for having us. Thank you for always being so supportive of our team and gifting us incredible things. And I can't wait until we meet IRL.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, pleasure. Just look after Tron. Don't make sure that that yacht that you're going to be interviewing Tron on, make sure you look after him. Don't there's no fires. Make sure there's no fires on that yacht, right?
He won't get a fire, but I also think we might actually get to interview the creator of Mango Farms as well.
Yes.
He's going to be with Tron.
Doug.
We got some really cool content coming for everybody, and
nice.
Megan and I are going to open it up to the floor and see if anybody wants to ask any questions, and they can help us make the interview. So we're excited, and I love my Ravencoin people, so I can't wait.
No, thank you for your support, Jessica. You're always very supportive of us and the Ravencoin community in general. And yeah, say hello to Doug for us as well for Mango Farm. He's a smart cookie, Doug. So say hello to him as well. Anna, from your perspective, closing thoughts from you?
No, I just want to say thank you very much for having me in my first Twitter space. This was very exciting, and I'm glad I got to speak with you all. Just if you guys want any more information about the course, you can either visit stacourse.com or send us an email at education@securitytokenadvisors.com, or you can personally just DM me here on Twitter.
Fantastic. We'll put some links on this after the show. Put some links here so people can be guided to those points there. But well, thank you, Token Echidna. Herwig, closing thoughts from you, Token Roo.
stacourse.com.
Quick to the point.
He's a simple man.
simple guy. No, please reach out to me, DM me on Twitter, or email me at herwig@securitytokengroup.com. Always happy to chat with anyone in the industry. I'm the biggest cheerleader for anyone trying to tokenize real estate. So definitely, hopefully, give us your feedback too on the course. Shoot me a message if you want a discount. We definitely want to make this as best as possible, because again, this isn't just for us; it's for the industry.
Were you going to mention something about for people listening in, a bit of a discount for anybody that wants to do the course for joining us today?
They'll have to DM me. See who's proactive.
That's it. Well, you just heard it from the man.
He's worth the DM. He's always nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
guys, he's a man of his words.
Hey, Herwig, just in point on that DMs, mate. You got to open up your DMs. We can't DM you.
Oh, well then, never mind.
Did you trick us? Was that a trick?
It might have been.
Well, if Herwig leaves you guys on red, send me or Anna a DM, and we can also help you guys out as well. Actually, anyone on our team would be happy to help you, so you can DM anyone, STA, STM, and we will always help you guys no matter what.
No, that's fantastic. Well, again, I really appreciate Jessica, Anna, and Herwig for giving up your time for today's show and sharing your thoughts and what's happening in the industry, and specifically around the course. Now we know there's a formal course to follow, and that everybody can go in deep and finding out exactly what is and how and why with what's happening in tokenized real estate. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Luis Miguel. Keep up everything what you're doing, and Token Roo out.
Fantastic. Well, have a fantastic day, everyone. Morning, afternoon, even depending where you are in the world. And same time, same place next week. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.